This is part 2 of our targeting story, our story time with a TI that I know. And remember, this is all just for entertainment. This is just, just a story, entertainment purposes only. But another thing that she shared was the harvesting of her biological materials. So in the very beginning, when she knew that this was started happening, it was after COVID. And she had avoided taking the initial COVID shot and the 2 booster shots, which the 3-shot series was actually a payload. I don't think anybody really just disagrees with that. But even though there is, NMRA in our environment and injected in the animals and whatnot, that specific 3-shot, the initial shot and the 2 boosters, was in fact a payload that changes mitochondrial DNA. She does have implants. She has nanotech. She has, the eye implants. She has all that jazz, but she did not have that payload injected into her. Among her God-given gifts that we talked about in part 1, and their attempts, their attempts to merge those gifts with AI. So when she became an asset to other programs because of the gifts that she has, she noticed that her biological materials were being harvested. And how they're doing that is remember back in the 90s and 2000s when they were blaming aliens for mutilating cattle and doing all that kind of stuff? Well, when they would talk about pieces of organs missing and whatnot. So for instance, a heart would be missing out of a cattle, but the pericardium would be left. So pericardium is a membrane that encases the heart. Well, the pericardium would be in a whole piece. What they were doing, was they were using different types of frequency weapons in order to, bottom out and reduce atomic mass and extract matter in that form. Well, this is the same type of technology that she knew was being used on her. So she was obviously very freaked out, really concerned about that. She could feel it being done. She knew it was being done. She could see it being done. So anyway, when she was able to develop her linguistics, her telepathy communication, she asked, obviously what they were doing. And apparently the answer is that in the future, human beings are not able to reproduce. They are pretty much infertile due to a lot of the damage that has been done. Well, because of obviously the type of DNA that she carries, and that it is not, her mitochondrial DNA is not affected with that payload, and then obviously the codes and history that she carries with her, it was, her genetic material is valuable. So then she said, okay, well, I'm older, I already have, kids, I don't plan on being pregnant. Why don't you just take all of them, out of the ovaries? Why do I have to do this every single month? And the reason why is because they are not allowed to interfere with free will. So if at any point, at any time, her own actions were to result in a natural pregnancy, they are not allowed to interfere with that. They have to make sure that her own actions during her normal life and cycle would not result in a pregnancy. So when she ovulates, she, will ovulate. And then when there's no chance of a pregnancy, that material will be extracted, and then she will start her cycle, a few days later, and then the cycle all starts over again. So that's been going on for a good 2 years. So I'll vote with her, allegedly. So remember, this is just for entertainment purposes, just a little fun part of the story. So I just want to let you guys know that, kind of some interesting stuff that you can think about, that, makes good for good entertainment. So.